Hi, this is Robert Estrin here at Living Pianos. Today I'm going to do something extremely interesting for you. I'm going to talk about and demonstrate for you how you have to play European pianos differently from American pianos. There's a completely different approach to these instruments in order to get the sound that you're after. In fact, I'm going to show you how if you play an American piano as if you're playing a European piano, you'll get a completely different sound out of both instruments, and vice versa is true. Fortunately, there's a lot of nice pianos here, and I'm going to start off with this beautiful Petrof concert grand, and it's beautifully voiced, it's in immaculate condition, and then I'm going to go to a Steinway concert grand and do the same thing. I'm going to choose the same piece, just the beginning of Clair de Lune, and I'm going to play it first, playing it appropriately to get the sound out of this gorgeous instrument. Listen to a little bit of Clair de Lune, and then I'm going to go over to the Steinway and play the same thing. And you'll see this little experiment, how it's going to show you the difference in how you have to play these instruments differently from one another in order to achieve a similar sound. Listen to this Petrof. So that's just a little snippet, the beginning of it, so you can get an idea of the sound. Now I'm going to go over to the Steinway Model D concert grand, and I'm going to play the same thing for you. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, well, I'll tell you what, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play it and make it sound good. Why not? Then I'm going to show you what it would be like if I played the Steinway and approached it and played it the same way I physically played it on the Petrof. And I'm going to do the other. After that, I'm going to play the Petrof as if I'm playing the Steinway. So here's a beautiful Steinway D, beautifully regulated and voiced, and I'm going to play the same little snippet of Clair de Lune. You're going to hear a very different sound out of a Steinway, a New York Steinway, compared to a Petrof, which is made in the Czech Republic with that classic, clear as a bell, focused sound compared to the fatter, warmer, blending American sound of the Steinway D. See what you think of this. Now, it was beautiful on this Steinway. It was also beautiful in the Petrof, but I'm playing entirely differently on the Steinway. The Petrof is kind of like a race car. You just give it a little bit and it just goes. There's a danger of overplaying on it. You just have to caress the keys. Where in the Steinway, you put more energy into it. You lean into it and massage the keys in order to get the sound out. In fact, if I were to play the Steinway as if I'm playing the Petrof with the same technique, This is what I'm doing on the Petrof, but listen how it comes out on the Steinway if I play this Steinway the way I played the Petrof. It's lifeless. There's no projection of the tone. You really have to bring out the melody. It's almost like, I'm also a French horn player, and American French horn players, most of us like the big sound, play more of the F horn, which is 3 feet longer than the B flat horn, play more of the F horn, bigger bore, bigger mouthpiece, so you use more air, get a bigger sound, right? European players are more elegant. They play smaller horns, play them more on the B-flat side, which is only 9 feet instead of 12 feet. Well, that's what that trigger's for, by the way. And it's a clearer sound because it's not going through all that tubing, so it's a more open sound. And it's kind of like that. On the Steinway, you have to like use more breath. The analog is that weight. Once again, playing the Steinway correctly for this instrument. So when you use the energy and the weight of the arm and you really exert some pressure into the keys, you get that beautiful singing line. Now, I'm going to show something really interesting. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play the Petrof as if I'm playing the Steinway. I'm going to put way too much into this instrument because it doesn't require that. It requires just a gentle caressing of the hands, of the fingers. And if you put that much energy into it, it will be a terrible sound. It's just like on that race car driver analogy. It's kind of like you lose control. And yes, you're going to hear, I'm going to approach this piano now as just the way I was playing the Steinway. Now I'm going to play this instrument in a more appropriate manner for this piano with a more delicacy. You get that range of expression in a smaller framework. It's all there though. Listen to it. approach. You have to play with a dramatically different technique in order to get the performance out. And I go so far as to say that the different pianos will inspire entirely different performances because your whole physiology is different. The approach to the keyboard is different, and the sound you achieve is different. So as a pianist, you don't have one way of playing a piece. It's not like you have one interpretation. Each piano guides you. The acoustics of the room. If the piano were in this end of the room, which is much, much higher ceiling with a 20-foot ceiling or 40-foot, whatever it is, it's really high over there anyway, it would inspire a different performance. In fact, I've had the experience of going into a hall and trying a piano, coming back later for the concert, and from the time we play the first note, it's entirely different because having the hundreds of bodies in there and the clothing of people is going to change the acoustics right there. So there's so much to consider with a musical performance, and I thought it would be interesting for you to hear the difference with European versus American pianos and the approach you have to bring with the Americans giving much more weight of the arm and punctuating the phrasing more. And in European pianos being much more subtle in your expression because that's all you need on those instruments oftentimes. I hope this has been interesting for you. Again, I'm Robert Estrin here at livingpianos.com, here at your online piano store. Thanks for joining me.